Creative Magic Club. What's up? This is Sarah Mack and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a six-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I'm here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hello, welcome everyone. I have a very special guest today. We have Victoria Welsh, who is a business and wealth energetics mentor, helping heart-centered leaders and spiritual entrepreneurs grow their businesses with a balance of conscious strategy and energetic mastery to become a channel for wealth. She's an intuitive channel, energy healer, and spiritual practitioner who facilitates healing sessions and in-person spiritual retreats. She's the CEO of the Soul Rich Life brand, the brand for business, soul, and money liberation, and a two-time best-selling author. Hi, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sarah, thank you so much for having me.
It's all good. Dogs in the background are welcome. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. I really am delighted to be here this morning.
I am so excited to dive into some money talk with you today. But before we dive into all of your juicy wisdom, please tell us, what's your story? How did you get to doing the work that you do today?
Oh yeah. So I do have a story behind this. So I was a nurse for 25 years. I worked in critical care for about half that time, a little more than half that time. And then I went into home health and the insurance industry. But it was in college, actually, that I met a friend who said, read this book. I think I want to be a motivational speaker. And he gave me the book, The Road Less Traveled by 𝐅𝐢𝐞𝐫𝐜𝐞. And so I read the book and I said, oh my God, I would love to do this too. This is me. I feel like I was born for this. I feel like I'm meant to take the road less traveled. I'm meant to do this work. But there was something, which I now know is that core wounding inside of me that said, I'm not good enough for that. No. He's so much better at speaking. He's so much better at delivery. I come from a very blue collar family where, we go to work in blue collar jobs. It was all of my conditioning that said, no, that's not for you. That's for someone else. It was almost like there was a separation. I saw people with opportunity as on a pedestal, wealthy, rich. It was separated. There was such a separation. I was just the girl from a blue collar family whose family was always struggling to they would rob Peter to pay Paul, sort of thing. So that was like the initiation into self-development for me. I was a 22-year-old girl in college and I was initiated into self-development. So for years and years and years, that rested within me. It was almost like a soul awakening, and it rested within my conscious, but still my not enoughness was like, no, just go do the thing that you're good at. I've come to now learn that I had, complex PTSD, and I had all these trauma responses. My body was so addicted to adrenaline that I would work in open heart surgery, ICUs. I would work in the spaces where it would just literally keep me awake because of all the adrenaline rushes. And until I couldn't anymore, until I was burnt out, until I was just done, and started looking at more self-development and following self-development leaders. And it was almost like that soul awakening happening within me. for years. In 2006, my brother was murdered. My little brother was murdered, and it sent me into a serious downward spiral. Like several life situations happened at the time. It was my brother was murdered in October. I lost a baby in December, and the guy I had been with for 9 years in December said, "Yeah, no, we're not going to be doing this anymore."
Wow.
Yeah. So, and we had businesses together and homes together, and we were completely enmeshed. So it was a series of life, situations that led me to, again, go to my trauma response, work. I eventually ended up in a narcissistic abusive relationship and pregnant with another child when I finally woke up to my life that I could not live another day in. And I sought solitude and peace in the only place that I knew, which was evangelical church where I grew up, and just started seeking answers. And so the more that I sought answers in the church, the more questions I had. And it was 2011, a friend of mine gave me a book to read, and I had a spontaneous spiritual awakening during reading that book. It was like the veil was lifted, and all the questions that I'd previously had, almost like a knowing, came over
me. Okay. I'm literally like on the edge of my seat. You're such a good storyteller, and what an amazing life story. I could listen to you talk all day. So, okay, so like how did you end up becoming a coach? And tell me about your transformation around money and how that unfolded for you.
Perfect. So 2011, I had my spiritual awakening, and for years I did this work, and it was like I had a knowing that I was meant to do that motivational speaking that I thought that I was meant to be. I kept going back to, I'm meant to do this. And I heard about life coaching through the online space. Through seeking my own healing, I learned about life coaching. In 2018, I hired my first coach, started working side by side with people. And by 2019, I quit my job and launched my business. And the way that I came into wealth embodiment work, wealth energetics, is that girl who had suffered with money, had completely struggled all of her life. It didn't matter how much money I was making as a nurse, which I was making 6 figures on several years. It didn't matter how much we were bringing in from our restaurants, our businesses we had jointly had. There were months when, together with my partner of 9 years, we were making 25, 30K months through our combined incomes. Money was always elusive. It did not matter how much came in. It seemed to leave me as fast as it came in. So when I decided to become a coach, I started in the industry as a women's empowerment coach. I left my job. I took out my 401k, and within 6 months, I was dead broke, completely broke, with $200 left in my bank account. This was February of 2020. COVID was just about to take the country, the world by storm. I had $200 left, and a friend of mine said, "I believe in you and your capabilities. I'm going to pay 2 months of your rent. I know you're going to be able to pay me back. Here you are." She paid a couple months of my rent to give me some space to breathe. There was $200, again, $200 left in my bank account after my 401k dwindled. It was my son's 11th birthday, and he was in the kitchen talking to his friend. And I remember feeling a sense of security because I had just gotten my rent paid. But this is like almost February 20th, because that's when his 11th birthday would have been. And he's in the kitchen with a neighborhood kid, and I am panicking about money. And he tells this kid, "I'm going to have the best birthday party this year. I can't wait for you and Justin from 2nd Court and Jason from 5th Court." And like, we lived this little compact neighborhood. And oh my God, and Eric's going to come in. And while he's saying these names, I'm adding up, because I knew each kid was $25 at the Jump Zone place. I'm adding this up. Now he's got 11 kids, 12 kids that he's inviting, and there's got to be pizza, and there's got to be ice cream, and there's got to be a cake. And I'm sweating bullets on the sofa, like, I can't afford this for this kid. I can't tell him, because I knew enough at that time about money mindset to know that it was my blueprint and not his, and that I was not going to imprint my beliefs onto my kid. And as I sat listening, and I'm sweating, and I'm just praying, and I'm asking for help, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? My parents don't have the money to help me. I've got no other resources. All the money's dried up. I'm not selling anything. I think at the time, maybe I was making $1,000 a month in my coaching business. My son walks the kid to the door. He says goodbye to him. He goes up to bed. And that night I have what I call my rags to remembrance story. So I had my kitchen floor moment where I dropped to my knees, begging God, source, creator, like, why me? Why do I have to continue this struggle? Why? I've been a single mother all my life. I've lost enough. I've gone through enough. Why me? And I was having that moment where, if you've ever watched Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert is on the bathroom floor and she hears, like, go back to bed, Elizabeth, go back to bed. Like, God bellows, go back. So I'm like, talk to me. Tell me something. I'm waiting for my Eat, Pray, Love moment here. And I literally heard, get up. No one's coming to rescue you. You have got to do this yourself. And I picked myself up off the kitchen floor, and I went and grabbed every book on my bookshelf about wealth consciousness, which is about 6 of them that I had on my shelf. I pulled them all off, and I locked myself in my bedroom for 6 days. I know this sounds crazy, because, like, on the 7th day, it all came to light, because I locked myself in my bedroom for like 6 days. I was fanatical. I was journaling. I was crying. I was purging. I was bringing up the depths of my childhood, my relationship with money, the way I had been all my life. I'd looked at my patterns. I'd looked at my beliefs. Like, it's crazy. There's a video inside of my Facebook group of this transformation, because a friend of mine said to me, you're on the verge of a major breakthrough, and I need you to video journal this. I need you to video blog this. She's like, so there's a compilation inside my group of this. I look crazed. I've got like those hair things, for bed in my hair. I'm in my muumuu gown, and I'm talking to myself on video like, this is just too much. It's too much. I can't take it. And at the end of it, it was 3:00 in the morning on the 7th day. My best friend is spending the night, because she knew she's like, I can't help you. Like, she didn't have any money. She had quit her job to start her online business. She's like, go for it. I'm here for emotional support. On the 7th day, I sat straight up after reading one line in the book Happy Pocket Full of Money, and it wasn't just that one liner, it was all the work I had done. But when I read that one line, and the one line was, conditions are an illusion. They are an illusion. You create your conditions through your conditioning. You're creating your conditions through your conditioning. And it was like the light bulb went off. If I created a condition in which money was always elusive, then I could create a reality in which I had an overflow of money. And it was like that. In that moment, I woke up and had this huge awareness, and I just started for months doing the work, the deep work, because I think that there's a big misconception in the money mindset community, or people that are looking to change their money mindset. There's a big misconception that if I just do this work and I shift my mindset, money's going to come in really easily. But the truth of the matter is, there are, and I call it the mind, body, spirit part of money, because we have to change our thoughts, which is the mind part. We have to heal the traumas that are trapped in our body, which is the somatic healing part, because we have money traumas. And then we have to do the soul work, which is the remembrance, the rags to remembrance. My divine identity is that I already am abundant. And when I return to my center, when I return to that state of beingness, I attract from there.
Before we get back to the episode, I have something exciting to tell you about. There were a couple of key things that changed everything in my life as an entrepreneur that allowed me to bring in six figures while working half as many hours and having more fun than ever before in my business. It was money mindset work around how I was doing business, combined with getting good at sharing strategic sales content online. I know you know that this is your year to start hitting your 10K month income goal and living the life of creative freedom and fulfillment you have been dreaming about. You're ready to be consistently attracting total dream soulmate clients through the creative content you're sharing on social media, and you want to be reaching more people, charging higher rates, and working much less. So I'm very excited to invite you to join me in Freedom Club, my mastermind, where you'll receive tailored high-level support to master the skills that will create your dream life and six-figure dream business starting now. With focused weekly trainings and coaching calls to find the clarity on your content that's going to make you the most money, to design a simple, fun launch strategy you'll enjoy following through on, plus daily support and feedback from me in the Voxer chat, you'll find that sweet spot in your business where you're the most confident in your work, having the most fun, and making the most money. Go to withsarahmac.com/freedom club to apply now. Now let's get back to the episode.
So it's not just, oh, I'm going to change my mindset. Money comes in. So I did this work and I did it day in and day out and day in and day out. I made it my job. And I went from that $200 in my bank account to doing mantras. And I have to tell you, my struggle didn't end there, because that was February 2020. In March 2020, my mom passed away. So I lost my mom, which was a huge part. It was a big catalyst for my healing journey. And then I stayed in, my parents at the time still lived in Baltimore, Maryland. I stayed in Baltimore to help my then 83-year-old dad. I stayed there for a month to help him. When I came back to Florida, a pipe had burst in our home.
Oh my God.
Our entire house was full of black mold. So my son and I, and we had no insurance.
No.
We lost every single thing we owned, and we were homeless. Everything we owned to black mold. And we were essentially homeless. We had friends that would take us in, but we were essentially homeless because we only had one set of friends in Florida. And so we lived in an Airbnb for a little while that his school put us up in. And then finally found, because COVID had then hit, and we found a beach house because vacationers weren't coming, for the same amount of rent, or a little bit, less than what we had been paying. And I spent 9 months on the beach doing a deep healing journey. But it was during that deep healing journey that I healed my relationship with my mother. I healed my relationship with money. And then I was doing the healing work, the mind, body, soul work, or mind, body, spirit work. And I started doing these daily affirmations daily. And I was like, I'm going to manifest $15,000. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to have a 15K month. I'm going to have it. And sure enough, that had all happened February, March, April, May, we moved into our beach house. By June, I started doing these morning mantras. And in September, I had a 15K cash month.
Yes.
5,000 was from my business, and it was a 10K random check from a freaking bankruptcy I did 7 years ago.
And that was and then your business just took off from there, basically.
My business took off because I started showing up when all the stuff happened with losing my mom, losing my house, I just started showing up vulnerably online, like exactly what was going on and where I was. I was like, if I can share the truth of where I am right now and how I'm leading myself through this, it is going to help someone else. And I did. I started doing morning meditations from the beach and sharing with my community. I just started bringing people into my journey, and then started offering to help with money and mindset and all the things that I was doing for myself, and the healing work and the deep spiritual work, and within 18 months, I had done multiple six figures in my business.
Incredible. What an incredible story. And, um, it's like this is having a coaching business. It's really simple. It's absolutely not easy. Do the freaking work and just show up and be vulnerable and focus on helping people.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Like,
I'm telling you,
yeah,
if anyone truly wants to go through the biggest self-development journey of their life, it's become a coach. Like,
yeah, what an incredible story. And I'm curious to hear like your understanding, because I talk a lot about CPTSD. It's something that I experience. I know a lot of people who are listening resonate with that. Um, and I think, yeah, it's so interesting to look at that connection between trauma and being an adrenaline junkie, and then how that is, creates so many self-sabotaging mechanisms. What from your understanding of going through that, like how did that shift, and how did you heal from that and kind of break those patterns?
So a lot of my patterns were unconscious. Of course, they were unconscious and habitual, and I would attract situations into my life for the money to leave me. So here's a prime example. Last summer, I had a $34,000 cash month. The next month, I got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I could not hold the capacity of that much cash coming in, and what to do with it, and how to celebrate it, and how to handle it, and where it was meant to go, and what I was meant to do with it. I couldn't hold the capacity of it. My body literally shut down on me, and I could not hold it. And so while people might be, well, COVID is COVID, everybody was getting COVID, but it happened exactly after it, and I couldn't function for 3 months. I didn't sell for 3 months. Yeah. So by the time, so here I was functioning on 10 to 15K months. Then I had moved up to about 20K months, and then I had this 34K month, and then like nothing. I mean, I had some repeat sales going on. So let's say 5,000, 8,000 was coming in, but that was nothing compared to what I'd been living on and paying a team and all the things that I was doing, paying my own mentors, because I think we invest a lot back into our business when we're doing this. So I started to recognize that my money traumas, the way that I had patterned myself after, or my body had patterned itself after my mother, with constant nervousness and anxiety around money. And I had to really go into my relationship again, healing my relationship with my mother, and literally do some cleansing where I gave that pattern back to her. Like, and then I hired a somatic healing coach, and we did somatic healing. And I even found these patterns, it was like in my DNA. It was from previous imprints, previous lifetimes, and stuff like that. So what's the work that I did? I did a lot of work around my hips. I bought therapy balls. I laid on a lot of therapy balls. I did a lot of crying, a lot of screaming. I bought the hyperbolic stretching course so that I could stretch my hips out even more, since we hold so much trauma in our hips and down in our lower chakras. I did a lot of releasing around shame. A lot. I think that people we get so caught up in shame, thinking that shame has nothing to do with money, but that shame has everything to do with your self-worth, and our self-worth has everything to do with what we believe we're capable of receiving. So I did a lot of shame releasing, and then more like hypnosis, reprogramming, a lot of dancing, ecstatic dancing, breath work. Breath work was my go-to. I've been to numerous breathwork events, and also I do breathwork on my own. So just a lot of moving that energy up and out of my body and releasing it and getting rid of it.
So powerful. And yeah, like it's work, right? It's like it's a lot of freaking work, but it's so worth it, and it works. Like this work works when you do the work. So what would you say, like what's the message on your heart for, you know, the women out there who are listening and who are just like going through the trenches in their relationship with money and want to have those breakthroughs? Like what do you wish more people knew?
So much. So one of the things that I teach in all of my programs, gratitude was the very first practice that I started with that began shifting my life. And the simplest things are so underrated now. We go like, I need to get to a Wim Hof session, or I need to get into a cold ice bath. When really, if you just start your day in such immense gratitude for right where you are, right exactly where you are. If you feel like your financial situation is urgent and it's causing too much panic, give yourself permission to feel the panic. Give yourself permission to feel the emotions, because what happens is, and I had to move through this myself, I would feel what I was feeling about my money situation. And then I would be like, but I'm a wealth consciousness coach. I shouldn't be here. And then the shame compounds on top of it. And that suppressed emotion does not go away until you give it a place to be seen. It just doesn't. So give yourself actual permission to feel the emotions that are going up, and just say, it is safe to feel this. It is okay to be where I am. I am okay. I am safe. And once you can regulate your nervous system and come into a state of centeredness, like bring yourself back, this is where divine inspiration comes from. This is where we all know how to make money. Like we all know how to make money. It's our remembrance of old patterns. It's our traumas that keep us trapped into this space of absolute panic. I wish more people woke up and practiced immense gratitude. My practice went from writing 10 things to saying 10 things. Now I text 10 people every morning, and I say something different each one, but something like, your presence in my life makes my life so much better. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of my life. I love you. And it expands my heart. It expands their heart. So there's 4 people in my life that get my message every day, and then 6 random people will get a message from me.
Oh, Victoria, you are amazing. I'm so grateful that you came on to share all of this wisdom with us and everybody here. Please tell us, like, where can people find you? What are you up to? What's going on? For anyone who wants to follow your work.
Yeah. So I have a complimentary Facebook group called the Soul Rich Society. I literally share a wealth consciousness tip every single day. My team posts something every single day to help bring you back into center. Sometimes it's journal prompts. So you're welcome to come in there and find me on Facebook. It's the Soul Rich Society. I run courses, I run masterclasses, I run masterminds, and I have private coaching. And I'm also a healer. I have a method called the Rapid Emotional Release, where we actually go in and find where these traumas, these emotions are trapped in your body. We do the breath work around releasing them. And then I do hypnosis to take you into a repatterning and reprogramming for wealth.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everybody for listening. Please share this episode with anyone you know will benefit, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com, and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.